Tonight, Tyrone Bowman live. A major story coming out of New York City. I'm about to talk about it right now. New York Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted, and I'm going to talk about that. Before I talk about that, I want to say this, because I do get a chance to read through the comments. And sometimes I think you all take yourselves too seriously, so I'm going to say this. None of this with me is personal. When I come before this camera, when I'm talking, when I'm reporting, when I'm giving my commentary, when I'm giving my analysis on the stories and events, none of this is personal with me. When I go home at night, I don't take this stuff with me. We're in a highly contestable political season, and the testosterone is high. The energy is high. So when I'm talking about different stories and etc., and I'm responding based upon the fact that I have to talk to my audience, because I want my audience to feel the passion, the vigor, and the sincerity that I'm addressing these issues with. And when individuals are commenting with me back and forth into the comment section, I look at your comments, I check them out while I'm reading. Some I respond to, some I don't. But none of this is personal with me. I'm a real journalist. I'm not fake. I'm not pretentious. What I do is real. When I look into this camera and I tell you I'm a real commentator, broadcaster, and journalist, that's what I am. And I am also a real criminal justice major. I'm a second-year law student. All right. Now, having said that, let's get down to business here. According to the New York and the intelligentsia, New York Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted. Now let's get down to the essence of the story. Eric Adams has been charged by federal prosecutors in Manhattan. A stunning blow to the first-term mayor who once proclaimed himself the future of the Democratic Party. The precise charges are not publicly known as the indictment remains under seal. The indictment caps a year of deepening legal and political peril for the city's second black leader, rewriting the story of his first campaign for City Hall and casting a pall over his bid for a second term. In the past 2 weeks, Adams has lost his top legal advisor, his police commissioner, his school's chancellor, and health commissioner. This move from prosecutors working for Damian Williams, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, comes just weeks after his office executed a series of raids on top members of the Adams administration, including 2 deputy mayors and the police commissioner, at the time, many of whom have close and personal relationships with the mayor. And I'm going to read a couple of the updates that took place. Let me say this. You all know that when it comes to former President Donald Trump, I've never held my tongue. I go full throttle, and I'll do the same thing with the Democrats. I have no preference here. No preference for anybody. If you're corrupt, you're corrupt. I don't care if you're a black person. If you're corrupt in politics and you're doing things that you have no business doing, I'm going to report it just the same way that I talk about former President Donald Trump. There is no special favoritism here on Tyrone Bowman Live. Now, something evidently is going on with the mayor in New York City, and I'm finding out just as quickly as you are. I don't know what's going on, what has happened, but I'm here to tell you that something is going on. In order for the police commissioner has left. And let me read that again. The police commissioner is gone. And personal relationships with the mayor is gone. His top members of his top staff are gone, including 2 deputy mayors. What is going on in New York City with the Adams administration? What has he been involved in, and what is he doing? In a defiant video statement, Adams says charges are based on lies and dismisses calls to resign. The mayor has released a defiant videotaped statement addressing the pending charges. It's not clear when he recorded the video. Quote, "It is now my belief that the federal government intends to charge me with federal crimes," he says in the video. "If so, these charges will be entirely false, based on lies." Adams also said he will not resign and that he will request an immediate trial so that New Yorkers can hear the truth. "I will fight these injustices with every ounce of my strength and my spirit," he adds. You know what? until something else further develops. That's the statement from the mayor. But it is kind of ironic during this highly contentious political season that all of a sudden, the second black mayor in New York City, which is a major stronghold for Democrats, has come under this type of scrutiny, and an indictment has come forth by the U.S. Attorney's office. And Trump is vying to win New York City. So right off the bat, it sounds like something is not right about this indictment. Why now? Adams says, refusing to step down is about respecting voters. I put the people of New York before party and politics. Now, if I am charged, many may say I should resign because I cannot manage the city while fighting the case. Make no mistake, you elected me to lead the city, and I will. So let me see if I can get his videotape statement here from X. I'm going to try,
My fellow New Yorkers, it is now my belief that the federal government intends to charge me with crimes. If so, these charges will be entirely false, based on lies. But they would not be surprising. I always knew that if I stood my ground for all of you, that I would be a target. And a target I became. For months, leaks and rumors have been aimed at me in an attempt to undermine my credibility and paint me as guilty. Just this past week, they searched the home of our new police commissioner, looking for documents from 20 years ago, just 1 week after he joined my administration. Enough. I will fight these injustices with every ounce of my strength and my spirit.
All right, that's all I have from there. I'll try to find another clip. And you know what? Something's not right here. Something is not right. It smells like corruption, and it smells like somebody in high places that's not on the Democratic side is deliberately coming after this mayor. Now, sources who are familiar with the matter told the city that Adams is being charged with acting as an unregistered foreign agent for taking actions in his official capacity after receiving donations from foreign sources. And the mayor says, I always knew that if I stood my ground for New Yorkers, that I would be a target, and a target I became. Adams said in a statement to the Post, if I am charged, I am innocent, and I will fight this with every ounce of my strength and spirit. If Adams were to step down in the aftermath of the indictment, the city charter states that he would be succeeded by public advocate Jumaane Williams, who would become acting mayor. Williams, who has served in the role since 2019, previously ran for governor in 2022. He came in second to Kathy Hochul. In the event that Williams chooses not to serve in that role, Comptroller Brad Lander, who has mounted a primary bid against Adams, will be next in line to replace him. So yes, if Adams does not resign, Hochul has the power to remove him from office, per the state's constitution, as the city notes. Governor Kathy Hochul has the ability to remove New York City mayor from office, the New York City's mayor from office. I'm sorry about the low volume. My bad. I tried to do better on this. But the governor's power to replace the city's mayor has never been used in 2019 and 2020 from New York. Now, the second option for removing the mayor is an inability committee. As laid out in the charter, the committee would be made up of the corporation counsel and attorney representing the city in a position that is currently vacant. The city comptroller, Brad Lander, who is running against Adams for mayor in 2025, one deputy mayor elected by the current mayor, in this case Adams, and the borough president who has served the most consecutive years in office. Currently, Queens Borough President Donovan Richards, once convened the committee, could vote to form a panel of the entire city council, which would then vote to declare Adams temporarily or permanently unable to discharge the powers and duties of the office of the mayor according to Section 10 of the charter. To take that step, the council would need at least 2/3 of its members to vote for removal. Calls for Adams to step down as mayor had been growing in the weeks since the federal government conducted a series of raids on his top aides. The group was largely made up by progressives from the state legislature and the city council who often clashed with the more moderate Adams on policy, such as City Council member Tiffany Caban and State Senator Jabari Brisport. On Wednesday, Representative Alexandria, uh, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez joined their ranks, writing on social media that the parade of exits from the city government following the federal searches were a threat to City Hall's day-to-day function. For the good of the city, he should resign, Ocasio-Cortez says. Adams, a prospective primary challenges, have begun to weigh in following the news of the mayor's indictment. Former comptroller Scott Stringer said in a statement, the mayor needs to resign for the good of the city. His legal fight is not our fight. Brad Lander is also calling for Adams to resign, etc. Now, Adams will reportedly surrender to authorities within a week, according to the New York Post. Adams will surrender to authorities early next week, sources said. Details about the exact accusations remain unclear, but are believed to be connected to an alleged kickback scheme involving the Turkish government illegally funneling money into his mayoral campaign, according to sources. So, Adams has made history as the city's first indicted mayor. Although corruption scandals previously forced two New York City mayors from office, Jimmy Walker in 1932 and William O'Dwyer in 1950, neither was ever indicted. This makes Adams the first city mayor to face charges since the office was established in 1665, shortly after the British took over New Amsterdam and renamed it in 1964. So how did it all begin? The first sign of trouble for Adams came on November 2, 2023, with an ominous round of raids targeting people close to City Hall. While he was traveling to Washington, D.C. for a White House meeting with mayors about the migrant crisis, FBI agents were executing search warrants at the homes of three Adams associates, including his chief fundraiser, Brianna Scruggs, for dealings with the Turkish government. In New Jersey, agents took cell phones and other materials from the house of Rana Absova, director of protocol in the mayor's office for international affairs, and Klink Okal, a former Turkish Airlines executive who served on the mayor's elect transition committee. Agents left Scruggs' home in Crown Heights with 3 iPhones, 2 laptops, and a manila folder labeled Eric Adams, the New York Times reported. Alerted to the Suggs raid by a staff member, Adams turned around after landing in D.C. and boarded a flight back to New York. He told reporters the following week that he had skipped the migrant summit out of concern for 25-year-old Suggs. On the following Monday, FBI agents approached Adams as he left an event at New York University and confiscated 2 cell phones and an iPad that were in his possession. As a former member of law enforcement, I expect all members of my staff to follow the law. I have nothing to hide, the mayor said afterwards, a refrain he used repeatedly, with variations as the Turkey probe advanced and other investigations materialized. Another sweep came on September 4. Federal agents conducted early morning raids at the homes of senior city officials, including NYPD Commissioner Edward Caban, Deputy Mayor for Public Safety, Phillips Banks III, his brother, Schools Chancellor David Banks, First Deputy Mayor Sheena Wright. David Banks is a fiancé and a top mayoral advisor. Timothy Pearson, Cabal's identical twin brother, James, and a younger Banks sibling, Terrence, also had phones confiscated. The coordinated raids came in support of 2 investigations unrelated to Turkey, but ran primarily out of the Manhattan's U.S. Attorney's Office. One probe is looking into a consulting firm run by Terrence Banks, whose fortunes rose when his older brother joined the Adams administration, and the others focus on whether James Cabal had used his family ties to the police commissioner to gain work for his security businesses, according to news reports. Edward Cabal resigned 10 days after the raid. His brother and the Banks siblings have all denied wrongdoing. David Banks later resigned as school's chancellor. Something is rotten in Denmark, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. I'll be doing my homework thoroughly. So, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to Tyrone Bowman Live. I'll keep you updated. Never surrender. Never quit.